Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, North Fork. How is everyone doing? Another gorgeous day. I'm almost hesitant to keep enjoying them because we thought summer was over, but here we are in October, so I'm cautiously, happily enjoying them. Welcome back to our Friday live show where I myself are joined with Lauren. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Lauren. Every Friday morning to chat real quick and include a local guest. Okay, hold on. This is giving me some issues. Hello, good morning,
Good
ladies.
morning.
Hello.
I'm
Hi,
so
guys.
I'm excited that the three of us are back together again.
I know.
Welcome
So
back,
so
Tracy.
let's jump into you right away, Tracy. Give us a wrap up of what's been going
Well,
on in your
this
life.
is my "you're lucky I'm out of bed" look today. I just got home last night. I'm absolutely thrilled to be home. It was a great event, very hard work, especially while you're growing a baby, but totally worth it and a beautiful event all in all. And a COVID safe event where, everyone enjoyed themselves but was respectful, and it was a great experience all in all, especially since it was like my first big foray back into the live event.
Okay, back up 30 seconds for those who don't know what the big event you were talking about.
Yes. So I produced the New York City Wine and Food Festival. So we had seven big events over the course of Thursday through Sunday last weekend. And we saw probably through those events like 30,000 people. And it's big foodie, lots of food, drink, wine, sponsor build outs. It was just we were out over the Hudson. We had two locations, Pier 76 and the Intrepid. And it was really a beautiful production, but it took 2 weeks to build it, host it, and tear it down. So that was a lot. It was a lot.
Isn't it funny how short loadout or breakdown is compared to load in and setup and
Well, you know
just the
what's so
mayhem
funny?
building in?
You know what's so funny, Lauren? The first 2 days of loadout, I kept saying that. I was like, it's going so fast. And then everyone lost momentum. And it was like
Uh,
people were moving things like this. And I was like, I want to go home. Come
you're like, get it to the truck.
Yes. So, but yes, it does. It took about a whole week to put it up and maybe 3 days to take it down. So,
See, and I
sounds
was
bad.
naive enough to think that right when your event ends, you're done. You can go home now. And then when you said no, not until Thursday, I was like, oh my God, I guess there's a lot of work to do
There
to
really
even
is.
wrap the event up. Yes. Good
There really is.
morning, Peggy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm
You're
so excited about this. You have no idea. I've been waiting for this for months.
Yay!
I'm excited too, but for some reason for me, you're sideways. I
Oh,
know
Yeah,
it's been
okay.
yeah.
Hold
here
on.
forever.
All right,
And I'm
wait.
looking at you like this. There
Okay.
Yeah,
you
there you
go.
go.
Boom.
Oh, love it. Love it.
I just want to say it takes, having grown up out here, forever, to have folks like yourselves and brilliant women like do this. I foresee this blowing up everywhere, and I'm so happy for you all. And it's wonderful. You're just great.
Oh,
Oh, thanks,
thank
Peggy.
you.
Keep
We're so
on.
excited to have you here.
Oh, thanks.
And you've shown up. You represent. I love it.
Well, I'm an old dog. I grew up out there, so
No,
what else can be said?
your whole setup behind you. I mean, you would think you were on here every week. You're a professional. You got a setup.
Well, I will tell you. Well, I've been in the branding business for 40 years, so I'm
You know
back
how
in the
to do
days
it.
in the 80s. I'm my class of professionals invented the game, so this is just the way I was trained.
I was tempted to dig out a hat and wear one today just for you,
Me
but
too.
I'm looking at your setup and I'm going, okay, you go, Queen. So welcome. Tell
Thank
us who
you.
you are, what you do. Let's just jump right in.
So I've only been doing this for about professionally for about 12 years. And prior to that, I was a hobbyist in the knitting arena out here. I keep going out, and so through a life-changing event, it forced me to go for it, and it started with knitting, then hand spinning, then designing yarns for farmers, then doing a cashmere project for USAID through the United States government. And here I am. So it's quite an amazing thing. You know, the hats are just part of the evolution, I would say. You know, it just all works together. So, you know, when you're classically trained in a profession, you depend on supply chains, and supply chains are what makes your product in the end, like everything that we see. So that's how I did it.
Tell us your tie to the North Fork. You said you grew up out here, so tell us your tie to the North Fork.
Well, my dad was she's gone now, but he grew up out here. His father was the first refuse carter on the East End, so Greenport. Okay. And the Schiavone family, it's colorful, you know, big bootleggers, the mob, that kind of stuff. The Wine Dank was the hotel there, which is now the Mexican restaurant. So that was the only hotel in town. And then Mitchell's, you know, that was all that. And, you know, back in the day when Claudio's was a speakeasy and the roads were dirt, you know, that's how far it goes back.
Wow.
You know, like
so your family, according to us, is local. I mean,
right, local. You know, so yeah.
Awesome. That's.
I think you
cross
over into native.
What?
Definitely. So you cross over. You're a native. You're
So Schiavone's, the Denizios, the Bunderchucks, the Seps. You know, Seps Farm, Tuttle. Let's see what else. I could think of more, but yeah. It's big.
That's awesome.
So some of the kids still live around there, but yeah.
Did you always live here, or did you move away and then come back?
No. Well, I you know, went to college. I'm an RIT graduate, and did the city thing, and then ended up getting, you know, married and, you know, living in Riverhead. So yeah. So awesome. That's how it works.
So tell me about the hats, because I mean, I know Tracy rocks hats. I haven't yet figured out how to.
All right, so I'm just gonna get into the hat thing and like disparage all the stuff about women who think they look ugly in hats, because that's not true.
I fell into that trap too, and then, you know, it took someone else saying to me, "Stop saying that. You look great in hats." And now all of a sudden I believe it. But for years I kept saying, I don't look good in hats. My hair is too big. And now
no. So I do this with everyone, and I get.
Oh, we lost audio. Okay.
When I meet someone, you know, and they look at the work, which is always the most important thing to me is the work. I like to stay invisible. So when I get them in front of me, I get all in their business, meaning hats are about sex and swagger. That's really what they're about. Okay. So that's why men love women in hats, because men, when they're looking at a woman's beauty, they don't want any ancillary stuff in the background. So what the hat does, it shrouds the body. And then a man, I can't believe I'm going to say this, like, I hope there's no different, you know, I hope this is okay. So a man can then concentrate on your assets without staring at them.
Interesting.
That's the deal. So your yoke, so your clavicle is the gateway to your assets. So they don't like any noise in the background, any peripheral interruptions. So that's the deal with a hat. So when women tell me that they are not insecure, but shy about wearing a hat, they are really telling me that they want to hide. And so then I get all up in their business, and then they go, "Oh, I do look nice in hats." I'm like, "Yes, you do. Yes, you do."
So funny.
And I watch men. So if you came to my setup at a market and you had a husband or a boyfriend with you, I watch the man. I don't look at the woman. And the minute that the guy says yes, I'm like, "That's the one." And then she looks at me like, "Why?" I go, "Because he has to look at you." So and then like sometimes the women were like, "But it's about me." And I said, "Yes, but you want him to like want you, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay."
That's funny. That is one way to go about it. I love it.
And then the other thing is that, you know, all of us, I mean, especially women, you know, we see these hats where they're like up like that, you know. they're like up way high. So that's a real, that is a marketing ploy, because hats, it kind of makes you look, it makes you look dumpy, because you really want to shroud and complement the body. So as the crown of the hat comes through the body and out. So when you see like celebrities or different brands with the lid all the way up, like on the forehead, it's because in reality, the hat is too big.
Okay.
So it's a cheap way out to sell you a hat. That's how it works.
Who knew that there was this entire language and world of hats out there? I'm loving this insight into the whole hat world.
I mean, it's with everything. So like if you look at this one here, so I love this piece because being a wool person is really a nice sort of addition for me. So this has got a hollow crown, a hollow brim, the way the block is. So what I did with this is I stuffed it with wool roving. So it gave the brim dimension. Otherwise it would be flat. And so when it sits on my head, it's like, you don't even feel it. And it's so, I mean, I love wearing this hat. It's so nice. And it's super warm. It'll really keep me warm during the winter. So, and then the trim is vintage mink yarn. So I like look for everything from the early 1900s through the 1960s when I'm looking for trim.
Wow.
And there's only one ribbon company left in the world that makes ribbon, and it's in France.
Wow.
Of course.
That's it. So it's and they actually make all the ribbon for the designers, you know, Chanel, Givenchy, you know, that's what they do. So
Wow.
I get my ribbon from them. Yeah.
So is this hat a particular style? Because I know there's, I don't know a lot about.
This is like, see, it's got like a nice crown that's got some definition, and all the blocks are from the 40s. You can't get blocks. The average cost on a block is like $300 to $500 per size.
What a block? Is that what you use to shape a hat?
Yeah. So like this one here, this is a block. So okay. This was $250, and it comes from a block maker in Poland.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah. So they're made out of wood. There are some, you know, headways with 3D printing, but it's still tough when you got to block them and put pins in them and rope on them. I mean, we do this whole thing. I don't have anything because it would take too long. Maybe some other day we can do a video thing on blocking, but yeah, this is it's almost like a pattern then, right?
Huh? You built, essentially a pattern, for lack of a better
actually
word.
What happens is that you have a piece of felt, like, you know, shaped what we call a caplet, and then you steam it, you get it hot, and then what you do is you stretch it, and then it all you stretch it and create what they call what do they call this? I forgot. Almost like a male-female thing that goes on top of this, so this stays. And then once it's finally dries, then you stiffen it to keep it shaped. And then the beauty of like wool felt is that you can keep on steaming it, and it all goes back to its shape and stays hard. It's like pie crust, meaning, you know how pie crust can be flaky but yet mandible. Yeah. That's what happens with these, and that's the beauty of a wool felt, is that you can steam it and it just perks right back up like it was brand new. Yeah.
Wow.
Learn all of this, Peggie.
Well, you know, graduating from RIT and being in the product development and branding business for 40 years, back in the 80s, we used to have to go to factories to see how things were made. Okay, food, boxes, metal, plastic, glass, everything. And then I started to knit when my daughter was 8 because left-right brain development, you know, for school. And then I liked it, so I stayed. And I went to my first Rhinebeck show, bought like $1,000 worth of yarn. Oh my God. Like, then that's a drop in the bucket. And I brought them back home to the local yarn shop at the time, she threw her hands up at me and said I was hopeless. And then my mentor, Louise Vance, and anybody who's out there that's listening that knows her, she taught me how to knit the math way. And I design everything based on math. And so what I do is, oh gosh, I start out with gauges, different gauges of different yarn types. Silk, we're talking like microscopic filaments like machine knitting. And what I do is I develop my yarns based on the animal first, and then it goes into patterns. And so these are gauges. That's what these all are. Like here, like this is a gauge. And then from there, it's like this is a piece, and then this is a strip. So I then, you know, I create a design. And then from there, you measure your chest, your body, and your arm. And then what I did, I wanted a set in sleeve because I've got a fleshy body. So I look fat in drop shoulders. I hate them because they make me look fat. So I couldn't find a book that taught me the math on a set in sleeve. So I went to 3 places to figure out the math. And so that's what this one is here.
Okay.
So
So,
I did.
so you make hats, you make sweaters. What else do you make?
Well, let's see. You asked me about my yarn. So here's some here. So this is like a silk merino. And then I design stuff like this where I take, I'll take a pair of jeans and I'll shred them.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
And then I make yarn.
Very cool.
So this is like ribbon. You could use this on anything. And then like, here's a good example because you were asking me about the yarn thing. So breed specific yarns are becoming a thing. Oh, sorry. So this is roving. So this is something, this breed is called Wensleydale, which is a very aristocratic breed in England. It's beautiful. It's like got a lot of mohair in it. It's like a genetic of like 3 different genetics in one animal. And I love it because it's great for weaving, but it makes beautiful yarn. So this is like a single, and then this is like a 2-ply. And you can see like the hairs over here, like it's really mohair like. So it's got an incredible sheen to it too, which I really love. So, and when you have knowledge of genetics and understand that that's how it's done, the design part is easy. I mean, like this piece here, this is actually a remnant from a blanket. And I found a blanket maker that was selling these as remnants. And then they also make blanket tape. So I use the blanket tape for my trim. And then I just like made this thing, which is a scarf made from a blanket. And then gaiters, I do these things too.
Oh, nice.
You know, and they're lovely. You know, they're really like wool and natural genetics are really, I can't wear anything petrochemical. I get my body just does not like it. It's weird. I just can't wear it. So I don't shop in stores. And once I learned how to knit and spin, my whole entire lifestyle changed. So, you know, nothing out of a box or a bag. You know, if I don't know the maker or the supply chain, I won't buy it. I raise my kids like this. And as it started, the other turning point in this is that back in 2009, my son was in 4th grade or 3rd grade. I can't remember. And the principal at Roanoke Elementary, Deb Rogers, was thinking about their social studies unit on Australia. And she knew I was a knitter and a hand spinner. And this is really what started the business right here. There's a $5,000 grant from New York State Council on the Arts. And what I did was I taught the children their social studies unit based on the natural resource of Australia and sheep and wool. That's how I did it. And then the rest of it is at that same time, the UN was launching their year on natural fibers. And I taught the children the global economy based on the natural resources of each country, how much money each country makes, and the amount of humanity that contributes to those revenues within each country. That's how I did it.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's it. That's how I did it.
You mentioned
Multifaceted.
that you take your stuff to markets. Are there any local markets here on the North Fork and Riverhead that we can wear hats and sweaters at?
Well, I wish there was. There's been the whole, I don't even like the word, use the C word, but you know the word, COVID. And so makers were not allowed into farmers markets because of the touch thing. And then the other thing is a lot of it is, you have your foodie people and then you have your makers. And makers are different creatures or different disciplines other than crafters or hobbyists, because crafters and hobbyists will buy their supply chains for their products in Michael's or places like that. What makers do is we source supply chains and we make products. That's really how that's the division. So a supply chain is what dictates how you make something. So whether it's ceramics, whether you're a woodworker, whether you're a designer, whether you are a glass maker, that's how you do it. So yeah.
This has been a fascinating conversation of the inner workings of, running a maker's business.
Thank you.
I am excited to try on some hats now.
Oh, that'd be, you can do that.
But
so it would be really cool. This would be great. We could do a thing where I'm with one of you and we could have like a whole show and tell on like the whole deal. It would be fun. I think your readership would love it. It's so much fun.
You could be with all three of us because we wouldn't know
which so much fun.
So we'll have a hat show.
I have
to try on.
I just have to give you this. So I had the opportunity to do a presentation of my work to a local celebrity, It was pretty funny. And it was a gentleman. He's adorable. Oh my gosh, I love him. So he came into this environment like a celebrity. And I went, like, okay, you're in my world now. I don't care who you are. And I'm like, stand up tall, open your chest, stand this way, look this way. And he's looking at me like, what is your problem? And then by the time I was done with him, and then he saw himself in the mirror, he's like, oh, Peg. I'm like, exactly.
Sex and swagger.
Yep. The whole thing. And when you give someone the permission to do that, I mean, especially as women, it is so beautiful to see because a man loves a woman in a hat. I swear to you, it's like they just fall on the floor in like a pool of putty, like, oh my God,
you heard
she's
it
so
here
beautiful.
first,
Tracy, I hope you're taking notes, Tracy.
So actually you might just be the first candidate there, Trace.
Yes.
It'd be fun. It'd be so, I think we'd have a hoot. Oh my goodness, it'd be so much fun. And I love it because I love watching the metamorphosis of when women look beautiful. I mean, just, it's so much fun for me. I'm like, oh my God, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Empowering. I love it.
It's great. So I really
fun to be in the process.
And and if anybody wants to find me, they can go to nunaknits.com. They can follow me on Instagram. I hate to do that plug thing, but I have to.
I'm glad.
And I really watch you guys. I'm always too late, because I'm at work or whatever. But you're doing such a fantastic job, all three of you. And I'm so proud of you that even though you've just moved here, but the kind of movement that you're going for here, you're going to be very, very successful.
Well,
very.
Thank you.
I mean that,
Peg.
really, you are. I commend you. It's wonderful. So
Peg, can we pick your brain as a native North Forker real quick? We're going to run through our same five for everyone, different perspective.
Okay. Yeah.
Favorite farm stand off the top of your head?
Favorite farm stand, I would say Sepp's Farm in East Marion.
Just there yesterday. It's also a favorite of mine.
They employed me all through college. I worked for them, worked through college, working for them as a kid.
Love
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Secret spot to watch either a sunrise or a sunset.
67 Steps.
Mm-hmm.
The not
Grew up there. I partied there. Split Rock. You guys can find it down there. Yeah, Split Rock. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what's next?
Your favorite restaurant on the North Fork?
Okay, I'm gonna, because none of them are there. I'm gonna say Noah's.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, Noah's.
And do you have a favorite winery or brewery?
My favorite wine. Well, I actually have two.
All right.
Can I say two or just one?
Sure.
Yep. Go ahead.
Two. Macari's my fave because I know the family directly and I remember when they started. And then the other is McCall because just the environment and their Friday night burgers are like the bomb, you know?
It's so
true. What
true.
can I say? Yeah.
No, they're fantastic.
Yeah, it's all good.
Up quickly in one or two sentences why you love the North Fork and being a part of this community. Tell us what you love about the North Fork.
Well, I'm just gonna okay. So back in the day with and I say back in the day, like my dad and my mom and just that and like having that history. What I really love about it is people will say that they love coming to the North Fork because of the tourism, but really the reason why they're here is because of the food. And and what we can buy on the side of the road where you really can't buy it anywhere else. And that normal people, meaning locals and visitors and folks like yourselves who've now created or decided to have this be your home, can all have access to those things, whether it be wine, vegetables. I mean, I buy my milk at Good Ale Farm. I buy my meat there. I'll go wherever you don't have to go to stores. You can just shop at farm stands, either from people who bake bread to people who are like the firm who makes the kombucha, to Rachel Stevens, who makes her own homeopathic remedies, which I buy, like her elderberry, all that stuff. I mean, all these people, I mean, you got Browder with the honey, and I buy their chickens. I mean, so really that's the beauty of living here.
Yeah.
I mean, and I buy from all of them. I love them. So yeah.
Thank you
Peg,
so.
your enthusiasm is just
I
palpable.
really love it. Are you kidding?
So
I mean, look
thank
at
you.
you guys. I mean, kudos back to you. I mean, this is huge for me. I can't thank you enough. No matter what, the fact that you even, because I'm invisible, meaning I'm young, I'm like small, like, and the fact that you notice, it's quite, it's inspiring to me. It keeps me going. All those things. It's very important that, because nothing's ever been done like this on the South Fork ever. And here the three of you are doing it on the North Fork, and it's the first of its kind. And there's nothing that's been done. I mean, I'm 64. Never in the history of the North Fork being, discovered by, second home buyers and those who have decided to make that lifestyle change. You ladies, I mean, it's great. Just like keep on going like this to yourselves, and I'm not kidding. You're doing a great thing.
You're so sweet. We could have you here all day singing our praises.
Well, maybe another time, but I definitely think we got to do that hat thing or whatever you want to do.
Yes,
and I'm telling you, it would be oh my gosh, we'd have such a hoot. It'd be fun. It'd really be fun.
I'm signing Tracy up now.
I think she has to be the first one. I'll have to use her as the guinea pig.
Definitely,
we'll
without
do
a doubt.
Social media class based on how to create content from your hat try-on. There we go.
Oh, I love it.
And
that will be great, because I mean, God help me. I mean, I need it too. It's, I was in the branding business forever, but I mean, this whole media thing, I am clueless. I really need help.
Oh, well,
although I can do the still stuff, but I can't do, I can't do the rest of it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys, and I watch you, and you make me smile every time you come on. Like if I don't catch you, and then I watch you after. And what I love about what you're doing is that you're representational of the public with, and you know what I mean by that. which is really refreshing. So I love that too. And different social backgrounds, different educations, different, parts of the world. It's really wonderful. I mean, I could go on and I could just keep giving you the kudos over and over. But
all day with you.
You're doing a great job. So I hope this inspires other local makers to reach out to you, because this is how you build a community. Back in the 80s, when the brandy business and Long Island was, expanding in the creative world, I say this often, there were a team of us of maybe 20 in all different parts of the business. We all supported each other. We all hired each other. We all nurtured each other. And we had it down. We were all successful together. It was wonderful. So yeah. And that's what you're doing here. It's great.
Thank you so much, Peggy. We can't thank you enough. This was such a fun half hour.
Thank you.
Can't wait to have you on again.
Thank you, ladies.
Person doing the hat show.
Yeah. Really good. Really, really good. Thanks so much.
Bye.
I'll see you next time. Bye.